Yes, I'm going to record this. Alright. Here we just got a simple character. No real design. I haven't come up with a design. The character's got just a little hat on. Alright. And here's the chair back here. You saw me draw in the background. Now what I'm going to do is turn on the onion skin. There it is. Character is going to pick up something and then come over and sit on the chair. So here's my first drawing. My next one is the character flipping back and forth. Bending over, pick something up, I'm just trying to, in a scribble pose, gestural pose. I shouldn't call them scribble. I'm just going to say gesture pose. He's reaching down. There's the eyes. As he reaches down, his legs bend. Okay. I feel like that pretty much describes him reaching and picking up something. I don't need to put any more in there. Next one will be I'm going back and forth just so I can see the size relationship. Now I'm doing this pose to pose, this animation. It could also be done straight ahead. That's his right arm, so I'm going to keep this object right there. I want him looking at the object. Going back there to check out, to refer to the hat. And I'm just going to have this arm just resting on this leg. Okay, there's my storytelling poses right there. Okay, right now what I'm doing, I'm just going to flush this out a little bit more. It's my starting pose. And there, for our demonstration here, that's enough. So, with these poses, I'm basically able, with these gesture drawings, I'm able to tell what's going on. He's standing there, he reaches down for something, and he ends up on the seat. So there's my basic key extreme poses, whatever people call them, keys, extremes, but there's my basic storytelling poses. So I'm going to put a drawing in after this. Now what I want you to know is you can do this all straight ahead. I didn't do the thumbnails on this. These are basically my thumbnails. I would have put the thumbnails in there, but for our demonstration, I'm just showing you how loose you can draw here. So here's the character. He's standing there. I've done this for so many years. I already know what's going to happen here. So he's going, my next pose is basically he's in that first pose right there, and he looks down. And all of this is basically, it's a trace back of the first pose. The thing that's really only moving is his head. But because I'm using this shorthand, I don't care if I'll just draw the rest of the body. Now, I know that he's coming down there. Here's, I'll roughly put in the center line, and the hat is going to change and move with the head. And then the ear is going to come up. So I'm flipping back and forth, looking at this, saying to myself, okay, that's enough information right there with these loose drawings, these gesture drawings. That's enough for me to know what's going on. And then from there, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I had done the thumbnails, I would have figured this out earlier. But I'm looking at it, and instead of him just looking down and then reaching for it, I'm going to have him do a couple eye blinks within it. So he looks down. I'm going to add a drawing after. And if I wanted to, I could just use this one. I could just leave it like that, because what this is just a quick test. Some people do that. I don't. What I do is I usually draw it all in there because I like to just see everything. That's just my approach to it. So he's going to go there. He does an eye blink. I'm going to take this drawing. Hold on. Take that one. I'm going to add an empty frame after. I'm going back to this drawing. I'm going to copy it and put it in that frame. So now what we have is this drawing, blinks, looks, and then he reaches down. Now, before he reaches down, I'm going to have a little anticipation before he goes down there. So, add a drawing after. Go back to pencil. Very subtle. He's just going back a little bit. Hand comes off a little bit there. And maybe this one, this arm starts to break free a little bit. I'm going to put that gesture in there. Slight little head coming up. You can see by the eye line. Head's coming up again. Close the eyes. Everything's coming up a little bit. The nose. Flipping back and forth so I can see it. Ear goes down because the eye line's coming up. I need to flip it back and forth to see, even with the gesture, if I'm getting, I want that hat to change shape a little bit. Okay, this is a subtle anticipation right there. Antic, that stands for anticipation. Okay, now I know he's working into the purple pose. So he's going to be moving into that pose. So I need to feel the drawing out. I need, in my own body, I'm going to sit here and think, okay, it goes anticipation like that. And then what I'm feeling is that the chest is going to move first. And then the head will drag ever so slightly. So as he's coming down, in my shorthand, I'm going to just draw this loosely. Too strong. I'm looking at it and I said to myself that I'm pushing it too much. It's more of a subtle move. So I'll just barely have. And maybe just start to have a little bend. I don't know until I flip it. Maybe just a little bend of the knee. And here the hand. Now drawing little gestures of fingers. Even though on this one, I just basically got a mitten as a hand. But I'm not worried about it because this is just my first rough. That head's dragging just slightly. That's his left hand starting to come up. Head's dragging just ever so slightly behind. And the main thing I'm doing here, the main thing is I keep flipping back and forth with my gesture drawings. Okay, that seems to be working. And then I'm going to put in a key breakdown right here. That's going to be showing the real change of shape between the this drawing and this drawing. Okay, I'm going to focus here. Right now I'm thinking about, okay, the arc's going to come down there with the head. That's what I just loosely put in there. Now I'm loosely going to put in this round shape for the head, drawing through the body, still doing the loose gestural drawings, not trying to make some pretty drawing here. This leg is starting to bend more. The foot is registered and planted on the ground. And this knee starting to bend more. Drawing through the torso, through the head, so I know where that other side of the shoulder is. This hand is going to be coming up. This is the arc I choose. Right there. So I'm going to have this hand somewhere right there, a couple fingers. And now this arm and hand that's stretched down for this thing that's on the ground there. What I'm thinking about now is what type of arc do I want to give this hand and arm. Mostly the hand that's reaching down there. There are many ways I could do it. I'm going to have it a slight arc like this. Starts off round up here and then is going to come down to reach it. And then that hand is going to be somewhere right, the heel of the hand's right there. I'm flipping back and forth to feel that arm. Want to make sure that here's the eyes here on that drawing. There's the eyes there. So the eyes are going to follow down in that sort of arc. There's the eye line. Here's the center line. And the eyes stay locked on to the object. Then the ears up here. The only way I'm flipping it back and forth does that. I'm going to bring the ear up a little higher. I know from all the drawing I've done, I know that the hat, we're going to start to see the top of the hat. Then I'm going to put in another drawing that's going to slow in to this drawing. So I'll add one after. And now this one is going to be closer to the purple drawing, blue drawing, whatever. There's my circle. Gesture for the, it's not a trace back, but it's just a slow in to this drawing. This hand is going to be slower and closer to this one. And here is the center of the face where the nose and the center line all meet. Here it is on there, but I'm still staying rough, but I know it's there. Roughly it's in there. So for me to come down to it, I draw an arc. Lets me know. I know right from there, that's where the nose is. We're getting a down shot. Might see a little bit of the eyes. I have decided, even though this arm is bent, I've decided I'm going to make this arm, even though it hasn't grabbed the object, I'm going to make it straight. And then I'll have the hands open a little bit. And then he grabs it. Not quite there, but it's close with the leg bending there. Just put in some quick lines like that, it will show me. Okay, this hat. Okay, now we got that first movement in. And now what I'm going to do is I got to figure out how I'm going to get him from here to over to here. As he walks, he's got to walk over and take a seat in the chair. So from this one, I'm going to refer back to his size. Right there. Somewhere around there. I'll go there, add drawing after, and I drew that in. I'm going to go back here and refer to, I drew it too tall. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm back to the right size. Now the point of this pose is this right there. He's looking at the object. See the gesture I draw him for the arm? That's it. I want to make sure that everybody sees this character looking directly at that object. So I make sure the eyes are in contact with it. And I'm just going to have his left hand sticking up like that, just to give it some dimension. I'm going back now to get that hat. I made the hat too small, so that's why I'm going back here, just to refer to the hat. Notice I will erase at times, and other times I don't erase. It's up to you. I just feel like I'm just going to draw it bigger, because this is just a rough test. And that looks close. Okay, so now we got this storytelling pose. He grabbed it. He's looking up, looking down at the ball. We have no doubt about that. And instead of me, I'm not going to put any breakdowns between this one, and this one as of right now. Where I will go back to it, because I know that will be an easy thing for me to figure out. The more difficult part of this is going to be getting him from here to over here. So with that in mind, add drawing after onion skin on. He will... see, he'll antic down. I'm just gonna I don't like to do it that way. I'm just telling you on a side note here, Poon, if it's easier for you to animate it straight ahead, let's say from this to this, then go ahead in the beginning, because usually it is easier. Like I said, there are just different approaches that everyone uses. I'm going to use more of the breakdown method. So what I'm going to have is a drawing. It's going to be roughly in here. That will be into more of a side view here. I'm going to have him still looking at the object as he's walking over. I think that'll work. Then on this one, he steps. It'll be a down position. The foot goes down. Okay, what I'm thinking about is from this pose, he's going down, he's turning, torso, leg, bent, bottom of the torso. Here's his left leg coming around. This arm is touching the chair as he's turning around. Center line. Holding the object. See the ears out there, nose, mouth. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere here. Let me turn the onion skin off. Start from the beginning. There he is. He's hold. Looks down, blinks. Antic. Grabs it. There's going to be a lot more poses put into this. Then he comes over, but we're breaking down the storytelling poses of where he goes from one place to another. I'm going to, on this one, I'm going to, where's the, I'm going to have this foot actually land a little bit down like so, because of the perspective of the ground. It's like a top shot, so we'd see a little bit more like that. Okay. So when he comes here, goes there, he's touching the chair right there. We're going to add a drawing. Is this all making sense to you so far?
Yes.
Okay. So then he's going to he's coming there, and then as he turns even more so, my thought is in my head, because I've been doing this so long, I would have drawn all the thumbnails first. I want you to know that. I just don't want to... you need to draw the thumbnails. Me, I can see it in my head a little bit more. I've been doing it my whole adult life. So what I'm thinking is when he comes around here, he's not just going to slide onto the chair like that. He's going to jump up to the chair, but in a very subtle way. So he's touched the chair. He now knows where the chair is, even though he is looking at the object. He intuitively knows where the chair is because it's in his house and he just knows where everything is. That's the way we are when we get familiar with our surroundings. So he's going to come around and he'll put his foot, his left foot, as he's spinning around, and the shape is... Now this is a drawing problem, so I gotta sit here and I'm gonna, whatever it takes for me to figure out what this will look like. I gotta struggle with it. And what I'm going to do is bring up this foot as it's spinning around. Left foot is going to come up slightly. The knee bends there. His body is turning around. So that means that everything is turning, that this arm holding the object. There's that object. Everything is coming down. He's bending over more. This arm, I'm hoping, this is an arm that's bending here because what I'm going to do is have him jump up, skip up into the chair. Now I'm looking at this foot. I didn't like it. I'll just have this leg come up even higher. He comes down. Counteraction is this leg and foot comes up. Everything's turning. So that means his head is turning. Now, hold on. I'll get the volume of the hat roughly put in there. Now, with this anticipation, what I'm going to try, I'm not sure it's going to be correct, but I'm thinking the eyes are closed because he's getting ready with this anticipation here to jump up onto the seat. This hand should not move. This hand stays locked. It's registered. There we go. It's registered onto that chair right there. Okay, there's my loose gesture drawing. And then he's going to be pushing off up off the ground. So he's pushing off with this foot. I'm going to think straight. Hold on, I gotta have my background. Very good. He's going to be pushing off. I'm gonna be bold and just make this a straight gesture. Pushing off that leg, this is what I'm mainly focusing on. Everything's pushing up there. There's the head. I'll probably change the head. I'm going to forget about the head right now. I'm just going to think about this thrust up. Straight for the leg. What I'm looking at here is the push off of the foot. I know that's a key element to this pose. There's the bottom of the torso. Right in there, let me see. Make that a straight. That's the arm. Main thing to notice here, honey, is that I'm flipping back and forth. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm feeling the drawing. Okay, this foot, like the hair that you did on the character, this foot is dragging. So I'm going to have the foot come down this way, like the hair you had done. The shoulder is pushing off. As he's coming up, there's the torso. Counteraction. He comes up. We're going to see the bottom. Maybe even over here more. Yes. That's the center line. We're not going to see hardly anything of him because the head, like the hair and the foot here, is dragging behind. And I'm right now, in my body right now, I'm feeling this. It's like, oh, I can feel that push. There's that push off that arm. There's that push off this leg. And then right now, the character is only thinking about getting up on that chair and bouncing up on that chair. So we got this action coming up here, pushing the thrust stuff there. We got the drag on the head, drag on the foot, and then the counter action of it going up. This hand is going to go down. See how that makes it, it gives it a snap right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the character. I'll draw the object in there, but I'm not really even caring about it. Just to keep them somewhat in character. We're going to see the top of the hat, but I'm not worried about that either. I'm just worried about trying to get this movement and this action to work correctly. Okay. And all this, understand, like right here, when I go back into all this, it's all going to be smooth and pretty. I already know that. I don't need to see it as of right now. We're going to go back into it. But the harder part of this scene was getting them from that pose over to this pose. So, now, there it is. Add drawing after. And now I can take a look at the pose that I'm going to be working into. So he's going to come up and there's going to be the pose that will describe the action of coming up, and I'm going to exaggerate it. I can make it more subtle, but let's just go extreme right now. So he's going to come up, he's going to be sort of light in the air because he's done the big push off right there, and then his body and everything's going to sort of turn up in the air. I'm not sure this will work, but I'm thinking that make him like not a feather, just would it be called recoil? There's that foot dragging. Now here's this foot, that foot right here is dragging, popping up. I mean, look how ugly these drawings are that I'm drawing. So, but the shape and the movement and the arcs and everything is working correctly. I hope. Okay, we're starting to be able to see the action. Head still dragging slightly. I'll stop there. I might go back into that drawing, or I might even change it, but as of right now I'm just going to stop there. Head's following this arc. Now we could get the overlapping action again. So the head is dragging that way. Here's the eye line. And now he's coming down. I'm going to have the eye line change the other direction. And there's the nose. Here's the eye, an eye, nose. See that? Do you see how the change of the angle of the head?
Yes.
Okay. What I just drew there is the arc of his bottom coming down to the seat. So I know it's going to be somewhere right there. And now I'm just going to follow through with this foot and flipping it back and forth. It's coming down, the leg's coming up, the foot is coming up. And then this foot, same thing. We'll see maybe a little bit of the knee there. And now this arm, everything's up in the air. It's just catching up as the body's going down. Arms going down. Up, sorry. We'll follow this arc of this hand. It comes from here. Notice I draw the arc in. I don't care. And it wraps around this way. And I'll continue it up that way. Put in a gesture for he does have that object in it. Okay, that's enough. After. And then when he lands, what this is called an overshoot drawing with the overlapping actions happening. But what it means is the overshoot is this part of the body. I'm going to have him land from this pose down. His butt is on the chair, he's hit it, and I'm going to go past this final pose. I'm going to overshoot it. So, where is it? Okay, there it is. The head will come down more. Past that one. Overshoot it. It's just this drawing, but pushed. More bent in the back. The feet will still follow. They're going to be dragging, just like the hair. The feet are comes up. They're not going to suddenly pop down there. What they're going to do is continue up with the legs that are up. So here's the feet. I don't want them to be symmetrical. I want to break up the shape. Let me see something here. Maybe I'll have this foot sticking up more that way. I'll push this pose. He comes down. Shoulders come up. Arms come up. The hand comes up. And this one too, holding the object. There's that gesture. And then I don't want to make it too violent, so I'm going to have it where he went from this head angle, looking where it tilted up slightly. We'll have a small one where it's looking down. If I want to, I can put a little stretch in the hat. I'll do it just for the fun of it. I'm just gonna realize the drawing a bit more. This one too, just gonna define it. Okay, now we're going to go back to this one. Now we're going to add in more breakdowns within this drawing to this drawing. Now, here's the thing I want you to know. So through your thumbnails, let me add this drawing. I'm going to make it simple, but I could make this little bit of action complicated if I wanted to, with a lot of drag and maybe a head tilt here or there. But I'm just going to keep this simple. So he's grabbed it. Now he's just going to come back up. I want to see which arc I use to come down into this pose. Okay, the arc is, yeah, there it is. That's the arc. I do not want to repeat this first arc. What I want to do is come down like so, and then when he comes back up, I want the arc to have more of a S. So I'm not going to just have it go down like that and then up like that. I'm going to have him come down, and then with this breakdown, this will describe that he's coming in a little bit with the head. So there he's coming in. Let me do this quickly where I don't get caught up. And trust me, I get caught up in the drawings too when I sit there and I'm, animating. Sometimes I'll lose focus of animation and I will, get too caught up in the drawing. I'll lose the idea of what the energy and what the animation's doing. Okay, so now, same thing with the hand. He comes down there, grabs it. I'm going to have the hand come this way, up that way, instead of the same arc that came down. So all I'm saying is, if you come down in one arc, the one that you're going to go back up in, don't repeat the arc unless it's a robot. So, okay, now we got this guy coming up. Knees still bent a little bit. Let's see how we got the left arm coming up there. I'm going to cross the shape there as the hand comes down to give it a little snap in there. It's his back that is mainly, that's the force right now that is pulling him up. So everything else is sort of pretty much locked in, registered. There's the center line. Keep it simple. Okay, this will be a major breakdown. Okay, he's coming down that arc, and now he's following our new arc. Then we're working that shape of the torso. Left hand, not really that concerned about that. Okay. Up comes the hand holding the object, following that arc. Gonna have a little bend in these legs, not completely straight yet. Okay, now we'll start to see the eyes. And then I'm gonna put in another breakdown, or you can call it in between. I usually call in betweens what is handed off. I'm putting in another drawing that is going to describe the action, and I know that I'm slowing in to this drawing. So I'll just put that in, just so I can get a sense of timing when I play this at speed, because all the in-betweens won't be in there, but there will be enough that will describe everything that's going on in the scene. Oh, that was terrible. Change that hat. Okay, that seems to be working. Now I'm going to work on the getting the shape of the torso. This one's real close to the blue one. It's not a trace back, but it's very close to this drawing. Just a little bit of bend in there. I could delay this hand a little bit. Okay. Now what we're doing, it's like the walk cycles we've done. I'm going to add in, let's take a look here. Just frame by frame. Okay, here we got it. Okay, we're putting in all the drawings that is describing the scene in a very loose gestural way. Now, to get him to go from this one to this pose, I'm going to add a drawing, and what I'm going to do is this drawing is going to be held for, let's just say 24 frames, 1 second. From that drawing, something that's held that long has an anticipation. So what I'm going to do is, on this one, I'm going to have him do a slight antic down. The other one, I had the antic go up. This time, I'm going to have the anticipation come down. So, with that in mind, this foot is registered right there. It's going to bend. I'm going to have everything come down. Little counteraction on the hand there. Right now I'm just drawing in the shapes right here. This is more of an antic where we're going to feel it. Going to move that hand to get rid of the tangent that I had on the face there. So I'll cheat it. I'll just bring it down here a little bit. And then he's going to come up from the antic I'm going to bring the head back more. This foot is registered. Then he starts his movement out from the antic. This foot starts to lift off. And because he's holding this object, we're not going to have a counteraction of the arms to the legs. He's just going to keep that object somewhere in here because this is what he's interested in. He's going to come out from this 3/4 and then into this profile. And he is going to keep his eyes on that object. And this is what gives it the personality, Poon. This is what makes it feel realistic because you know the character is thinking. So he is so highly focused on this object that he found. We can call it a gold coin or a ruby or something like that. But whatever it is, that's got his complete attention. And we want to convey that to everybody. Okay, so he's coming out of there. Here's his hat. Just put that in quickly. And he's coming up. Leg coming over, torso, I'm not sure what to do with that hand. I'm going to bring it up slightly. That seems to be working. Only reason I could tell, I'm going to say it again, is by flipping it. This foot is flat. It has not changed its shape at all or form. Wait, what did I do? Add drawing. Okay. Now I'm going to put in the up. This is the up of the walk. Keep that foot registered there. Everything is up. Okay, right there, classic mistake. I didn't have good eye contact with the hand. So, for me to make sure I do, I'll draw a line like that. Body is stretching. Okay, I'll just leave it at that for now. Alright, honey, now what we're going to do is we have basically done all the drawings that describe the action and the attitude and the arcs. Everything that's delayed, overlapping, dragging, everything has basically been put in here. It's a real simple scene, and the main thing is all the principles of animation are in here. We have a little bit of stretch and squash, overlap, drag, and all that. But the main point of me doing this demonstration for you was to show you how loose with a gestural drawing you can get in animation and how it will work. Because you can do this. I'm not saying I work this loose in every scene I do. Some of them I put more drawing, but the approach that I used in this scene is basically my way of doing it. Did you, by chance, did you see my last post on Instagram of the blue character running towards us?
No, not yet.
Okay, that's fine. That particular scene, I had just decided I'm going to animate it straight ahead. I don't do that very much anymore. I just felt like doing it because I didn't want a run cycle that looked, a perfect run. I wanted it to look a little clumsy and awkward with the character. I did that straight ahead. Now this scene, you just saw my process. I did those first key layout poses, and then what I did was I kept adding in more and more drawings until I'd reached this point to where I feel like I have enough in there to describe the action. Now, the thing that isn't happening in this is the timing, and that's what we're going to work on now. So here's drawing 1. I'm going to hold that drawing for 32 frames. And here's, I'm going to hold when he looks down, I'm going to hold that for, I'm going to try. I'm just going to give it a shot. I'm going to hold that for about 24 frames. And then when he blinks, 4, opens back up and holds, 12, and now he does the antic. I'm just going to make that antic 4. And then he's reaching down. Let me see. I'll make that one 4. I'll try 2. 4. This one, 2. And then he grabs it. I'm going to hold on that one for, let's say, 12. Coming back up, 4, 4, 4, and this one's held. I'll go 18 on that. Let me see, 1,000. No, I'm going to go actually longer. I'll go 48 on that. And here's our antic. 4. 4. 4. I might hold, I'm going to hold that antic for this, another antic. Might be too long. Okay, then 2. 2. God darn, 2. 4. And then he's going to settle into this one. 34 is fine. Then we want to hold our background. Wow. It's a long scene. Oh hell that. Let me figure out how 2:30. That takes too long. Okay. Don't know why I didn't do that. Let me just keep doing this.
So funny.
I know there's a quicker way, honey, but if I think I'll spend more time sitting there trying to figure it out than just doing this. There we go. All right. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it. I put down the rough numbers of what I think will work for this scene. I'm going to play it at speed and let's see what happens. Okay, it's held too long in certain poses. That one especially. So, what I do is, I come back. It's way too long. I'll go 28 on that. Still too long. Now usually this is all figured out. I want you to know this is all figured out on an exposure sheet. On this one, what I did was I basically, just started animating the scene because the purpose of this is to show you the gesture drawings. So I'm going to cut that way down. Let me see these other ones. I think actually I'm going to hold that for 8. I thought the first one worked fine. We'll check that out. Okay, now we'll play it at speed. And that's it. So, and then boom, from there, what we do you want me to keep going with this and show you what to do?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we got everything is working in here. So what I would do right here, I'm holding this on 4s. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add another drawing just to make this a little more fluid. Then after that, I'll show you how to put in your charts, and well, you already understand that part, but I'll just keep going. So all right, let me see. Add drawing, split halfway. There we go. I'm going to use slow. I'm going to be slower to the purple drawing, the blue drawing. Come in. I could even have, because he's got this little stretch in the hat there. I'll have the hat sort of come up. No. There's a stretch. I'll delay the hat a little bit, flatten it out, stretch and squash. Little overlap. Then I'm going to cushion in to this drawing, and you'll see what I mean. So there's going to be some drag on that hat. We'll just flatten it out for fun. Changing the shape of the foot as it comes down with a scribble. It's pointing up more that way. Same thing there. Feet come down. This part is starting to cushion in. I'm going to have this hand come out and around, holding the the object. Now I'm going to add another drawing that cushions in to this. Notice I have not numbered these drawings yet. We'll get all into that. You already understand that. I already know you understand that. What I'm teaching you here is strictly animation. Slowing in to the blue drawing. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is I'm just making the drawing is closer to the blue drawing. That way when I go to put the in-betweens in, it will be more direct in-betweens instead of it being, in thirds or quarters. Okay. I'm going to have the eyes open at this point. Change my mind with the hat. Now I'm going to add one more drawing to cushion in there. There it is. Very close, very close. Matter of fact, on this, I'm going to have it, hold on, I want to show you something here. This is a good, on the hand, I'm going to put it directly in between there with the hand that's holding the object. On this hand, his left, I'm going to already have it on his leg, resting on his leg. And what that does is this will keep moving ever so slightly, and this will already be there, and that's how you break up your timing on your characters when you're where everything doesn't stop at one time. And usually people will have it stop at one time, but that is where you can just keep it more alive. That's really, I'm giving you a side note there, but that's one of the tricks for that classic full animation. Flat on that chair. Okay, now when I play this as speed, you're going to see that cushion at the very end. It's going to be much smoother. See that? How it's smoother at the very end there?
Yes.
Okay. And honey, all that was is just putting in some simple in-betweens. And I did change, you don't see where I had that one hand being delayed a little bit, but you can feel it. It goes by very quickly, but look at the very end there and you'll notice how just that arm is moving a little bit. Now, with that in mind, so what I would do is, because that is, it's up to me how slow I want that ending. So now I put those last two drawings, the two drawings before the last drawing, I put them on 4s. And look closely and you'll notice a slight difference. Is just slight. It makes it a more, it's not in between yet, but it just makes it more of a, what is called a moving hold. He's just in there longer and he's moving at the same time. So now we're gonna, if you want, I'm gonna go through this entire scene and in between it and show you the whole process. Do you want?
I can.
Huh?
I
Tell me again, honey.
can. I will wait it for 4 minutes.
You can't? Are you too tired?
I can. I can. CAN. I can.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna ask. Do you want me to keep going and finish the whole thing? Is that yes or no?
Yeah, keep it.
Keep going. Okay. Okay. Because I got nothing to do this morning. That's why I'm giving you this long lesson. But I don't want to. If you're really tired, I know it's late there. I don't want to, burn you out. But you want me to keep going forward, right? And show you the whole thing. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Okay. So we're going to go with this timing. And I'm going to shorten the background here. Okay. So here's drawing 1. Whoa. Oh. All right. Here's drawing 1. This is a drawing. Where am I? Oh, 33. 33. I'm going to go through this. Oop. Drawing 33. 57. 61. 73. 77. Also, usually people number them down here too. That's a side note. You don't have to do that because you're doing your own tests. But for in the production line, and you're working at a studio, you number it up here. This is going to be where your charts are. This drawing here is just to, it's really for the, back in the old days, for the cameraman to know what drawing it was exactly. And it's just sort of to double check each drawing. That's a side note. Don't pay it. We're just going to keep going forward here. Hold on. What is this? Oh, that's a mistake. Okay. Delete that drawing. This is... Okay. Just a little confused there. Alright, 167, that's it. Okay. Okay, so I've numbered all my drawings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and figure out, I'm going to make some real simple charts, and I'm going to figure out exactly what's going to slow in, slow out, and the spacing. So we got drawing 1, and to turn this head down, I'm not going to do all these drawings between drawing 1 and drawing 33. I'm going to put in only about, I'm going to have a slow in, slow out. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's drawing 1 and 33. As you know, that implies the next drawing. And I'm going to have a real simple chart like this. Here's the halfway drawing, the one in the middle. So this will be, and these will be 31, 29, 27. And they're going to fall. You understand charts, so I'm not going to get into all that, but it's slow in, slowing out, slowing in, and it's a quick move. It will be done on 2s. I'm not going to do it on 1s. Just going to have them go in there. Okay, now this one is held. Drawing 33 is held for 24 frames. The next drawing is 57, which is just an eye blink. So, drawing 33, I'm going to put in 57 down there, and I'm going to make this just a standard eye blink. It's going to, let's see, we're going to slow out of it. We'll do it like that. Yeah, we'll make it kind of cushy. We'll put a little time on it because he's being thoughtful. So that's going to mean this is drawing 55, 53, and what that means is drawing 33 is good. Hold on one sec, honey. I need to get this. Hey, Bo. No, it's a functional issue, and usually what causes that is you got to go into it, and it takes a while, but clean the heads, and the printer should say to you what the process is, and to clean the heads, so you can look it up. Oh, that. No, I've never had that. That just usually, well, when it's old like that, I really don't know, to be honest with you, dude. I got a student waiting for me right now. Okay, all right. Okay, bye. Sorry, Poon. Okay.
You can talk to me because I can't wait.
Okay.
I can't wait for it.
That's all right. That was my boy. He was trying to figure out a problem where he works. Okay, should I continue on here?
You continue. That's fine.
Huh? I what?
You can continue. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So here it is. This is all it's going to be. Really, all this is I blink. Not that I put that up there. I'm just letting you know that that is what this is. Directly in the middle 55, and then 53 directly in the middle of 33 and 55. Okay, so we got this, and I held this one for 4. On this one, what I'm going to do is it's going to be a slow out, or one directly in the middle, let's say. So I'm going to put that one here, and that will be 59. This should be 61, hopefully. Yes, there's 61, and 61 is held for 12 frames. Let me move this, yeah. And I'm going to, that's 4. From 61, these will be real basic. I'm going to put a direct in between. 63. I want to make this simple. I don't want to get all complicated with the charts and everything for you. So there's the antic. Hold on here. I've confused myself. I blink. He blinks. Opens back up, 65. 1, 5. To 73, 65, 73. That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, I got confused myself there. To 73. Okay. So 63, and then it's held. 63, 73. Okay. And then from oh, hold on, honey, hold on. I'm messing up here. Comes down, he blinks, and then out of that, he opens his eyes. That'll be from the close to the open, and then 73. Oh, okay. And then he goes 63, and then he's held, and then to 73. Slows it out. Okay. Okay, that's on 4s. Just snaps it in there. There is no right. 81, 83, 85. Very good. Okay. 87. It's held for 8 drawings. I'm gonna keep this moving. Okay, this is a situation right here at this point. It's my choice. Do I want to have where it just pops in right there and he just holds there for the 6 frames and then starts to slow out? And that is what I'm going to do. But I could have also, if I wanted to, is have him slow out from this drawing to this drawing with 6 in-betweens. What only difference of what that does is it keeps it moving and it keeps it fuller. So someone like Richard Williams, that's the way he would do it. But then other studios, I always refer back to the old ones, but like Warner Brothers, they liked more of that pop animation. And you know what? This one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it full animation just so you can see it. And then it will be up to you after that what you want to do. So let's go. Let's make it full. 95. I hope I'm being clear here. 93, 91, and then 89. So this is going to be full animation, but it's going to be done on 2s. We don't need to do anything on 1s yet. Okay, so we're going to slow out of 87 to 95. So then he's coming up, and now we're back on 4s. This will be a direct in between. 97, 99. Direct in between. 101, 103. Okay, now what he's doing is he's slowing in to this pose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the drawings off of this one. I'm going to take some of that time to cushion in to this pose. So with this drawing, which is held for 16, I'm going to take 4 off of it and add it to the previous drawing. So now this drawing is still going to be drawing 107, but on this drawing to 107, I'm going to add, that's 103, yes. I want to make, no. I want to slow into it, so this is going to be 103, 105, 107, 109, and this now will be 111. Now, did that make sense just now? I took some drawings off of this one to be able to cushion in to this one. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And then we'll change this to 1, 1. $119. I'm going to hold this one. So I took that off, 123. Direct in between 23, 121, directly in between as he comes into that antic. then as he comes out of it, direct in between, 25, 27, nope. Okay. These are all direct in betweens. 29, 31. Okay, these are all just your basic in-betweens here. We're going to have goes in there. 6. We're going to have it slow out from the antic up into this. Okay, now what we're going to do, this is a fast action. So I'm going to switch from 2s to 1s here. So I'm going to 49 directly in between. I'm going to put in 150, 151, 152, 153, and all the way through, because this is a fast action, and because there's so much movement going on here, I want to be able to describe the action better. So that's why I'm switching to 1s. Okay, now everything's very slowed down. So what I'm going to do here, I'm switching back to putting it on 2s. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And we have now finished all our charts, the spacing, changing it from 1s to 2s and all that good stuff. So now what we're going to do is put in the in-betweens. So this is 32. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this for how many drawings? I'm going to take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 28. Hold this for 26. Okay. Now I'm going to add a drawing after, but I'm going to hold it for 2 frames. So basically I'm just adding in a piece of paper. I know that this is going to be drawing 29. Turn the onion skin on. You got any questions while I'm doing this? Ask me.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So here we go. This is I'm not saying this is the easy part. What I'm saying is it's easier than the rest. So we got, right now we can sort of, this is where I sort of relax. I'm just putting in the direct in between. I'm not totally relaxed. I'm checking, I'm flipping back and forth, seeing if it looks like it's working. There's that mouth right there. But I gotta remember, the whole point of this is to show you what you can get away with gestural drawings in your animation. You know, it's funny, honey, is when I put on Instagram, I get more people that like these rough pencil tests than they do when I finish it and, you know,
It's good idea. Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
They like it more. I think because they get to see, you know, what the artist is thinking. I know I did when I was a kid, wanting to look at it. Okay, so we simply did that one. Now we're just gonna continue on to do all the in-betweens. So now we're gonna do number 27, which is also the good thing, I must say, with I do like the fact that, you know, to do in-betweens, what I like about the digital software is you can zoom in and get the in-betweens very tight. You know, especially if you're doing real cleaned up stuff. This not so much so is that important, but it just helps. I just like drawing bigger. That's just my personal preference. Just makes it simpler for me. Okay, getting back to all this. Look, because I'm drawing it loose, I'm not that concerned about it being directly on. Long as I get it somewhere in between these two drawings. It might jitter a little bit, but I'm just doing a rough pencil test here, so I keep it loose. Now when I'm doing more of the tied down finished ones, I do get very focused, and I take my time and I make sure to put it directly in between. So, but that's not what we're doing here. So I'm just gonna make sure the eyebrows, everything is pretty much there. Okay, then we're gonna add this one after, which, oh, hold on. Oh, let me pull it over where I can see the numbers. Okay, this is 31. Okay, it's getting alive. I'm gonna take out 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw, add one after. which is going to be brought down to 2s. $55. Roughly put it in there. Okay. I did take my time a little bit there with the eyes, because that's all that's really, I'm just doing trace backs of everything else. Good enough. And we're gonna add a drawing after, and then move it over there. 53. Okay, I'll slow down here. Take this one, try and split it in half. Okay, these are very subtle little movements, but they're the ones that make your character feel like they're a living, breathing thing. Okay. 61. Oh, I'd messed up here. This drawing 71 for me now. Okay. 73. Then to be 71, yes. Okay, now we're... Okay. I'm going to make the eyes a little bit more open. Okay. Thing to look for here is how, even though these are scribbled drawings, I am being conscious of keeping the scribbly lines where the spacing chart tells me to, be it directly in between or, well, all these are pretty much in between. But I'm staying loose. But I am aware of trying to even keeping the gestures in between where they're supposed to be in the spacing chart. Oh, I forgot to put it in the eyebrows. Okay, that looks like it's working. We'll keep going. Okay. Gesture of that hand coming over. I noticed the body was not quite up here where the chest is meeting the head. Was a little off. Okay. Seems to be working. Split. Following those arcs, same arcs that I put down when I was doing the keys and breakdowns. Let me make sure what it's directly in between. Okay. Okay. Right in between there. The leg. Following that arc, which I know is straightening out there. Gesture for the hand. Okay. There's the cross in the face of center line and eye line. Here it is of the next drawing. This part can be a little tricky when you're first starting out, and the easiest way I know of is to just put those ticks in there where the cross is. I'll leave them in there, I don't worry about them, and I know that this is where the nose is going to roughly fall, the eyes somewhere in there. We're starting to lose the eyes a little bit. I lost a little volume with that hat, so I'll just come in and just put it over like that. Okay. Okay, so we're holding this on for 2 frames. Drawing after this would be 93. Okay, I'm just looking at that hand for that whip action. That seems to be working. Zute. Okay, you can see by me just putting in these scribbly drawings, we're starting to get some real life into it here. Let's see, we got a little more. After this, add drawing after 89. Okay, I want to make sure on this, as we talked about before, where I said with this arc came down here and now it's going to come back in a different arc. So I want to make sure that I'm following that. So I'll just draw these lines as reference to make sure I stay within there. Now, when you got, here's a side note here too, Poom. When you got a situation like we have this shape here that's coming up into this shape there, and it's sort of when you do the in-between, you'll sometimes ask yourself, well, which one, I mean, it's hard to, which one should I favor? If I put in this kind of strange wiggly line in there, won't that look strange? The one to favor is always going to be the drawing you're working towards. So what I mean is, this line is a C shape like that. This one has changed its shape the opposite direction. So when you do the in-between, favor it towards the one you're working towards. So we got it from there, and then this one, I'm favoring it towards that line, the opposite C line. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So if you ever get caught in that, I mean, you can make it a little straighter, but I'm saying, but favor it towards the drawing you're working towards. Keep that knee bent a little more as I'm working into the blue drawing. Coming up that direction. There's the nose of the previous. Here's this nose, and it makes it easier for me to put them on the same one. That's fine. Arc for the hand. Are you getting bored yet?
No.
Okay. So honey, what you can see here is just basically I'm just following the charts and just putting in, you know, the in-betweens were the charts that I had determined after I did the pose test. I'm just, you know, putting them in here. And this is why the first part of me doing this scene, this is why it was the more complicated part, because I was trying to, you know, figure out how to work in and out of poses, and then figuring out the timing, which I usually figure that out a little bit beforehand, or always beforehand, but it's the same process as what I'm showing you here. And also understand this is my process. Really the only difference usually from what I've shown you today is I thumbnail and I will put more drawing. As I've gotten older, I put more drawing into those key poses. But that's the only difference, which isn't that big a deal. It's about the process, and this is the exact same way I do it. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're gonna 105. We're slowing in to what will be 111. So after 105 will be 17. Okay, on the scribbles, these scribbles, I've lost a little volume on different parts of it. But they're pretty close enough for this kind of test. If I animated straight ahead, most people will lose much more of their volume control. And that's one of the reasons, like I've told you before, I like doing the pose to pose method. But you can use any method that works for you. No, wait a sec. No, it's 109. Oh, did I screw up there? 1, 5. Wow, I am doing this full.
Way longer.
Are you there, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Are you falling asleep?
No.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna go real fast here. Okay. Okay, what we're gonna do is we shall take a look at our scene up to this point. Okay. I will continue on if you want me to, Poon. It's really your call. But can you see? By doing these, hold on. I want to bring this down the frames. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that accurate? Nope. 5, 6. Now, by doing this, you can see how just by putting in the in-betweens through this scribble, gestural type of animation, you can see how even though the last half of it looks choppy, but with the in-betweens in there, like in the first half that I put in, you can see how you don't need to see it all in the beginning, all the fluidity and everything. That will come later. So here, this first half, everything's very smooth, full animation, reaches down, and then it gets a little choppy here. But if I continue on, it's going to be as fluid as this. Also, to understand, the main point of this was to show you how I can draw these gestural drawings in simple shapes and forms, and it will communicate what's going on within the scene. Does all that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you want me to finish this scene right now and continue on? Because what time is it there right now? You got school tomorrow, don't you?
Well, today it is Wednesday 2:41 a.m.
2:41 a.m. Wow, that's late. Do you want me to finish this scene, or do you want to, or do you understand? It's up to you, honey. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other.
Normally I have to wake up at 5.
Okay, so I feel like you should probably go to sleep right now, okay?
Okay.
Okay, and what I'm going to do is I will continue on. I will finish this scene just so you can see the final version of it done in this gestural, simple drawing style that I'm trying to show you here. and I will finish it while you go to bed right now. It should take me another, I think, an hour or something, and I will send it to you, and you can see exactly what I mean. Okay?
Okay.
All right, honey. So we'll say goodbye right now and get some sleep. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Following the arc of the foot. making shape. That's the knee. Eye line, maybe see. All right, good enough for what we're doing. Arc. Make sure the eye is looking at the object. Shape of the hat. Ear. The arc of the step. That's there. There it is. And that's the heel. Now right here, I'm changing the shape. What I mean by that, this shape is facing the bottom of it's like that. This one, I'm gonna put where it's got a little bit more angle to it on the heel as it comes down. Got that figured out. Sure the eyes are still looking at the object. This would not be in between this foot right here coming down to this foot. On this frame, once the heel makes contact, the foot flops, lands. Now what I'm doing is I'm thinking about the big shapes. I know this foot is coming up over there. I'll draw behind it. This hand is reaching out. Far leg is bending to come up into this pose. Got a head turn here. There's my tick marks. It's coming out of profile into this more straight on view. There's my cross to tell me where the nose. everything lines up in that area right here. Nose, way down here, follow that arc. I'm gonna start to squint the eyes because it's going into this antic. Okay, and this is where I go to ones. Now here I'm gonna keep the foot down there to push. I wanna show that stretch a little bit more. Everything else I'm just gonna do directly in between. Except for the arm. I'm going to stretch that, keep that hand planted there, try to show that force coming up. Now, if I was going to do a breakdown here, I would, well, let me put it in there. We'll see what happens. To put more drag on that head, I'll put that there. But I would have put that in my original animation. What I'm really doing now is just drawing in the big gestural shapes. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go back to 2s. This will just be to cushion in to our last pose. If you wish to have this kind of effect, you just put in more in-betweens. Alright. Okay. So this is what you can do with just drawing gestural scribble poses. Take a look at it at speed. So there you go. Why is it not looping? Anyway, that's about it. Now why I got all these? What is this? Delete. Let's just get this where it loops correctly. Delete drawing. Try it again. Alright, so here we got it. You can see you can draw very loosely and just get the essence of the poses. You can do this straight ahead or the breakdown method. You know, this sort of the main point to this, I guess what I'm trying to just show here is mainly for when you're first starting out. And the biggest problem that happens when you're learning animation, you're starting out, is that the animation is usually stiff. So with this approach in the beginning, just to learn all the principles and the understanding of the 12 principles, and to go forward with it, if you draw in this fashion or whatever your shorthand is, these are just throwaway scenes. These are just tests so you can get a more of a fluid approach to your scenes. The more you get into drawing, what I usually do is I put in more drawing within those key poses that I'd started this whole demonstration off in the very beginning. That way I'm just able to get more of the personality and you know, the changes of attitude and all that. But this is a way you can do it just to have fun and learn the principles without struggling with the drawings so much. Your drawings will improve just as you, like everything else, with practice. And you can put more drawing into those key poses and the breakdowns. So I hope this helped, and that's it. Bye bye.